Hi, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. This is, for me, a space where I grow. We grow together. If you're a woman who is on a journey to growth, elevating yourself, womanhood, leveling up, becoming better, learning from mistakes, all of that jazz, we are walking this journey together. Thank you for sharing the other videos. I'm seeing you. We have new subscribers and I couldn't be more grateful. When I started this journey, my prayer was that I would impact just even one woman. And I told God, like, even one woman is enough, and I'll keep creating this content even for that one woman. But the fact that we have people who are subscribing, sharing this content, engaging with me, thank you so much. And I hope this is a space that validates you and you feel like you're growing. So welcome back. In today's episode, I wanted to keep it very simple. A lot of the discussions I have with you here are based on my experiences. I'm now more attuned to when I hear something that resonates. I was driving in my car and I was listening to a sermon. I can't remember by whom. But the preacher was saying one of the things that are a guiding factor that should be a North Star in your life is the peace factor. The peace factor. That when there's a lack of peace about a situation or a constant lack of peace in your life, it is an indicator that something needs to change. And I was reflecting, oh my God, that is so true. Because one of the things that women have been blessed with is that intuition. You don't know why or how, but you have that very trusted inner voice. Not the inner critic that we talked about in the imposter syndrome of fear, but that inner voice that gives you information that you don't know why you're feeling that way. And more often than not, I'm sure more often than not, when you find out or that thing happens, you're like, I knew it. But the preacher was talking about that peace factor. That you do something and you're at peace. Your spirit is at peace. And so I was thinking to myself of the many times that I have not had the peace factor in my life and why that has been so. And I was reflecting, what are the times when I did not have the peace factor in my life? And I hope this resonates with you. Number one, when I have wronged people or crossed people's paths, either I offended them or I did not do something right and I did not say sorry. These are basics, but you would be surprised at how much we are walking around wounded because our egos, our pride, or you're justifying why you haven't really apologized. And if you're honest with yourself, it's very, very hard for you to say sorry because you feel entitled to your opinion, to your actions, to your thoughts. But every time I have not said sorry or I offended someone and I did not apologize, I don't have the peace factor. And the sad thing about this is that for some people, it's been years. People are not talking to family members. People are not talking to friends, a friend you cherished. Families are broken. Generations are just not aligned because people refuse to simply say sorry. And it is such a powerful thing to acknowledge that just a simple statement of like, I am really sorry, can heal a lot of generational trauma, wounds that have been inflicted, and especially if you're the one on the wrong. I see a lot of social media and I engage in it, but we rarely have people who are saying, I'm the one who was wrong. When you're talking about toxic environments, toxic places, and you could be the one that needs changing. You could be the toxic one. And so for all the times I feel that I have not always had the peace factor, it is when I offended someone, I did not say sorry, and so you carry this heaviness. And you also carry a longing. Funny enough, a lot of people who have aggrieved others, or if you have ever aggrieved others, you wish you could find the language to just say sorry. But in my experience, there's no way around it. Apologize, say sorry, make amends. And it's not enough to just say sorry, it is following through with actions. I think one of the things that I'm learning is that saying sorry without action is now manipulation, where you become so good at just saying sorry and not following through. But back to the peace factor, every single time I have not made things right to people I offended, the peace factor is gone. You might pretend you're doing well, you might pretend that you have moved on, but please say sorry. And if there's anything I have learned in my life, people sometimes go through years without apologizing, and then those they wronged are not even there. So you carry this weight, this heaviness, and for you that is always like in your heart, you know, I should have done better. So if you want that peace factor, start saying sorry. Just start. And we are all in this together. I don't think there's anyone watching me, whether man, woman, where you haven't offended someone. It takes practice, but I dare say it takes a lot of courage to simply just say sorry. So that is one, when I have offended someone and I don't say sorry. Number two, when I haven't had the peace factor personally, is when I'm in spaces where I feel the need to belong, but those spaces are not serving me. So you are in certain spaces because you feel it's the right thing to do, but those spaces are not serving you. And for many different people, it's a different thing. For me, for example, when I'm in a season where I am a mom, I have young kids, I have a lot at work, I have this channel, I'm trying to grow a business. And one of the things I have realized is I don't have a lot of time to be in social circles, and especially circles that are not helping me grow, like going to drink, and staying up late night with friends. I'm in that season. So sometimes it's very easy to pressure yourself to be in spaces that are not serving you, so that you just feel you belong, because I want to catch up with my friends. Some people are in really, really bad spaces where you could be doing drugs, because you're feeling you need to belong. That thing of within community. And because this is something that I realized, especially in the African culture, we have grown up being told that community is everything. Being around people is everything. And that is right. But we sometimes don't like to discern, is this space working for me? Is it making me grow? Right? What kind of spaces are you in? And there are spaces even when your spirit is tired and you go, you feel much better. But if you're in a space where you're going, you're drained, that peace factor is gone. Some people, also it could be you're spending money which you don't have. Taking mortgages, taking loans because you want to drive the latest car, or taking loans to go on nights out and spending, and yet you don't even have the money. So are you in spaces where you're just there because you want to belong, but they're not serving you? I don't know what that is. For some people, it's you're dating someone that doesn't respect you, probably that doesn't love you, doesn't give you back the effort that you give them, but because you so badly want to get married or to get engaged or to get a boyfriend. I don't know what it is for you, but every time I've had the peace factor that is not there is when I have tried to squeeze into myself into spaces that are not serving you. So be very clear so that you're not always feeling a heaviness, you're feeling I'm not okay, you're crying. And all of these things I'm saying, by the way, I am not perfect. I love this channel because I'm in a journey, especially this year, where I'm constantly reflecting on what kind of spaces am I in? Are they growing me? Are they not? In fact, this is a journey for me. So as I talk to myself, I'm talking to you. Are you in a space where you don't belong? And a tip here, I think that's working for me, it is just to accept the season. When people are going out on long nights and having the fun of their life, I am at home with my kids, and that's my season. This is where I belong. To each their own. And seasons come and go, and that's enough. But also don't stay in a place where you just feel the need to belong. That's not serving you. You will not have peace. Number 3, the other time when I've not had the peace factor in my life is when I make decisions in such a rush because I feel the pressure to say yes. This is different from what I've talked about, I think, in another episode, and I was saying that successful people move with speed. These are different kind of speed. I want to give a scenario where, there's a craze of people, for example, investing in a certain space, and you're told, come buy, this is the time to invest. If you don't, and yet you don't have all the information, there's something telling you, I need more information. But more often, what do? We rush, you go invest, and then probably it was not even the right investment, or it was not going to serve you. So every time I have made decisions in a rush where I didn't have all the information, where there was pressure to say yes, it's not self-driven, it's people. Someone's telling you, oh, you're gonna be late, oh, this is the time, and we all know that rush. Some of us have rushed into relationships. Some of us have rushed into jobs that we felt the money was looking good, but we didn't do our due diligence. For others, we also rushed to make judgments of people and situations because we never got all the pieces of information. So every time you're pressured to make a decision in a rush that is not really from you, it's an external force, and you feel you don't have all the pieces, please take pause. I'm not saying that 10 out of 10 all the time it's a wrong decision, but we always come back and say, oh my God, there was something. I didn't feel peaceful about these decisions. I did not feel right. And like I said, in marriage, in relationship, just that rush to lock things up and to dot your I's and cross your T's, it's a dangerous game. So you always find that most of the time, that decision was not the right one. And again, your peace is gone. So please take your time, especially when there's external forces forcing you to make a decision. Which leads me to the time that the other time I've also not had the peace factor is when something is not aligned to my values. I could write a book about this one. Values are not just momentary things. They are like building blocks to how you think about your life. For me, for example, one of the values that I really cherish is my family, like the institution of family. That is so sacred to me. The bond that I have with my children, with my spouse, those are things that are really sacred to me. So every time you make a decision that goes against the things you truly cherish and value, you will not have the peace factor. You might delude yourself of the fact that you don't really care, but values are so important. And a tip I could give here is write down the things that you truly, truly value. For others, it's time. And that's a great value to have, that my time is so valuable that I only engage in X. So every time you break that value, then the peace factor is gone. And a lot of people, especially this is the one that hurts the most and crushes people the most, is when you go against your values. When you do something that might seem right to other people, but to your core, this was never you. This wasn't something you even believed in the first place. This was because you can stay long in those spaces of going against your values. And when it comes crashing down, you're like, no wonder I never had peace. It could be even the circles or in your career where you're in a job and you've been asked to do something that goes against your values, and you do it for so long, trying to delude yourself that I'm earning money, I'm going home, I'm sleeping, I don't really care. But the day you will just sit with yourself, you will realize that for so long you haven't had peace because you have allowed someone or an external force to infringe upon your values. So this is hugely, hugely important. It robs you away of your peace factor, and you really are not the person that you want to be. So those are some of the things I was reflecting when I have wronged people, when I'm trying to be in spaces I don't belong but I'm forcing myself, when I make decisions in a rush, and when something goes against my values. Those are the times my peace factor has been robbed. And now I'm getting better. I'm not 100%, I'm getting better. So tell me, when are some of the times where your peace factor has been gone? It could be you knew something was off about a person, a situation, or whatever. And now, what do you do to safeguard your peace? Let me know in the comments. This was a short one, but I felt that someone inspired me because the preacher said the peace factor is God's way of communicating to you because when something is aligned, you don't question it. It's there, it's in your DNA. You feel so at peace. And when something isn't, it's God trying to tell you, maybe you need to look at it differently. Share this with other women. Please engage me in the comments. And I can't wait to see you next time. Again, I always say it means so much to me if you like, if you subscribe. It tells the algorithm that this is good content that women can benefit from. And let me know also what else you'd like me to tackle. But I love you so much. And yeah, God bless. Until next time on The Woman Experience. Bye-bye.